the White Queen. Y'all can see I'm the White Rose, man. I'm with the White Rose. It was Rebecca Ferguson's worst role I ever seen, to be honest. The show was okay. It was okay. Rebecca Ferguson usually knocks it out the park. I love her as an actress, but this wasn't it for. They just kept making her get naked in every scene. She was naked in almost every episode she was in, just getting banged on by Edward, I think was her husband. Just getting banged. I think he is syphilis, man. They tried to make it like it was some kind of other illness. Man, he was banging every woman from here to spoilers, by the way. He was just banging. You know what I mean? But I couldn't even pick a favorite character out of this show because everybody was just a piece of garbage. If I had to pick a favorite character, it'd be Richard, probably. But then he banged his niece. But that's like normal. That's where Game of Thrones get it from. That's kind of like normal over there, man. And then they want to keep the bloodlines pure. But I'm still with White Rose. Like, even though they was garbage, like it's like I liked Edward and I hate the Tudors. You know, and we gonna get into that next episode. But I hate the Tudors so much. I don't know why people never. Everybody always kind of like made them look sexy in shows, but I hate them. But anyway, so she was basically a single mother out in the wilderness. I think they had money when was her family the Lancasters? I think she was part of that half. I can't remember, but I think they had, and then she kind of lost it when the war started. And then she was so beautiful that Edward like just took her in or whatever. So that's cool and all of that. And then, you know, he ended up loving her. So, you know, everybody thought she was getting tricked, which I would have thought she was. If I was her brother said, it's like he do this to all the women. But he was being genuine, and you know he fell in love with her probably because the sex was so good and she was so beautiful. Rebecca Ferguson is a beautiful woman, but her acting in that, god awful. So she didn't do anything to me. Like, she was just powerless. She was a pretty face. They had her yelling and screaming about it, but she really didn't hold her. The brothers did what they wanted to do. Spoilers throughout the whole thing, but the funny, I'm jumping around because it's just so funny. The funniest scene to me out of the whole show, it was only one season, I think, to the White Queen, is when George got drowned in the Malmsey wine, which was Rebecca Ferguson's character was her favorite wine or whatever. And I couldn't believe they did that. I read that already, but they said that was more of a, you know, a rumor that had happened. But they actually did it. It was hilarious, man. It's, where are my brothers? They ain't here, man. You're getting drowned. But that was one of my favorite scenes. Lizzie was beautiful. I don't want to jump into the White Princess, but like I hate that they changed that. I don't like that actress either in the White Princess. I can't stand her. Goofy looking. She's maybe pretty by European standards. Like, she's not ugly, but she ain't as pretty as the one that they had, you know, in the White Queen. That woman was beautiful. Like, she was good to tempt Richard or whatever. So I like George's the actor who played George. He's the best actor to me in that show at the time. Rebecca Ferguson has taken off since. I love her in Dune, by the way. Rebecca Ferguson is amazing. She's just not in that. What else did I like about Margaret? Was crazy. So I read a little bit about Margaret, and it said she basically just outsmarted Elizabeth and Lizzie. That's basically how she was able to get her son, or like she was smarter than her, and I could kind of see it in the show, how they tried to play it. She was crazy as I don't know what, but she had an intellect to get her, and she didn't give up. And you gotta give her that. She looked like a mouth breather though. Actress they got, like, she just always got saliva. What's old girl from Always Sunny in Philly? She remind me of the one, like the McBoyle sister or something, man. Are they the McBoyles? Yeah. So she remind me of that. That's her whole scenes were hilarious because she was crazy. She's trying to get her son on the throne, who's Henry Tudor. I hate him. What else do I want to talk about? The show was decent, man. It could have been better, man. It could have been a classic. I don't think it's a classic. It just had some good moments, man. Jesus Christ. His brothers betrayed him like 18 times. The Earl of Warwick was just a spine. He wasn't spineless because he could fight. He was a coward, man. He was a slithering, backstabbing, sneaky coward. But he was a good character. I seen his actor. He always played a hater. He was in the Count of Monte Cristo. He always plays a hater. He was a hater in that. The biggest hater, honestly. He played the biggest hater of all time. I'm missing something, man, that I wanted to talk about. I loved Elizabeth's mother. She was such a good character, such a good casting with her. She was calm, helped her out. They was into witchcraft. I keep trying to tell y'all too, all y'all guys who want to fall in love. A lot of these girls are practicing witchcraft, man. A lot of them, most of them. Witchcraft is a huge thing, and then girls say, "Why did they have to say witchcraft?" Because y'all practicing witchcraft. Oh my God, is there something else I wanted to touch on before I get up out of here? I just wanted to touch on the show while it's still kind of fresh. You know, I remember everybody kept trying to get me to watch it and say it was a good show. It wasn't that great, like to hype it up. You know what I mean? I know I'm missing some. You know, like they didn't really show the Red Rose family. Like I guess when Henry Tudor comes in, I guess that's supposed to show that. But I wish they would have showed more of that in the first part with the White Queen and more of this family versus this family. It was just stuck on Edward's family and like their exploits and the betrayals. Things like that. Like I said, Rebecca Ferguson, she got locked in a little, I'm gonna just call it a dungeon. It seemed like they called it the Krebs or something. She was there with her kids. Her and her daughter just stopped getting along, and she was terrible. Like she shouldn't have been the main character. I know it was called the White Queen, but they should have made the focus somebody else. I don't even know how that would have made. Maybe Margaret, because she had no focus. You know what I mean? Or they should have did like a Game of Thrones, which I think they was kind of trying to do, but it still was like focused on Rebecca Ferguson a little bit. Yeah, it was okay, man. Would I watch it again? Probably not. It was alright. You know, like what it did make me do though was go into history and read a little bit more about the Plantagenets, the Lancasters, the Yorks. That's all it really did for me, man. Which is, I guess, a good thing. But it was okay. It was alright. Rebecca Ferguson at her worst. I wish I could meet her and ask her, did you want to get naked in all those scenes? Because they just kept making her have sex. Anyway, that was all I got for the White Queen, man.